This is the Baseball Observer. All hail the champions of the National Baseball League, the Seattle Cascades. It's Saturday, June 30th, 1973. We're at the end of the month. Let's see where we stand. In the Northeast region, the Boston Corsairs have lost 8 of their last 10. They're 50-32. They lead Indy by a half game. Indy is 48-31. The Indy is 5-5 in their last 10, and they've lost their last 2 straight. These two have faced each other in Game 1 of their 3-game series yesterday. Boston winning in the bottom of the 9th inning with a 3-run inning, a walk-off victory. They win 10-9. Irv Redmond is the player of the game. The winner, Jim Coburn. He's 4-0. In the Southeast region, the Baltimore Admirals have won 5 in a row and 7 of their last 10. They lead Charlotte by 14 games. Charlotte is playing well of late. They've won 3 in a row and 7 of their last 10. Their last contest, they defeated Atlanta on the road 9-0. Joe Coleman with the win. He's 7-4. He was the player of the game. Coleman's ERA is 4.09. In the Western League, in the Northwest region, the Denver Gold lead the Salt Lake City Yetis by 2.5 games. Denver has lost 2 in a row and 6 of their last 10. Denver and Salt Lake City are battling each other in their first game of their 3-game set. Salt Lake City won 7-4. Phil Niekro was the winner, the Salt Lake City starting pitcher. He is 10-8. His ERA, I can't see it. What is his ERA? 2.54. He was the player of the game. There's Phil Niekro. And in the Southwest region, the Wranglers lead the Houston Oilers by 3 games. They've lost 7 of their last 10. They won their last contest playing Las Vegas, winning 9-1 at home. Terry Kuzman, now 11-5 with a 3.30 ERA, is the player of that game. Phoenix trails by 4.5 games. They've won 6 in a row and 7 of their last 10. Here are the wild card standings. The Indy Racers lead the Charlotte Monarchs by 7 games and the Philadelphia Freedom by 8. In the Western League, the Houston Oilers, they've won 6 of their last 10. They lead the Phoenix Rattlers by 1.5 games and the Salt Lake City Yetis by 6. Now we're going to sit with a couple of featured games Two division rivals, first in the Eastern League. From Fenway, the Boston Corsairs will send Dave McNally to the mound. He's 9-4 with a 2.36 ERA. They host the Indy Racers, who are second in the Northeast region. The road record for Indy is 16-18. The home record for Boston is 25-13. Indy will send Ken Holtzman, who's 11-3, with a 2.46 ERA to the mound. From Fenway Park, the Boston Corsairs host the Indy Racers. Now for the starting lineups. First for the Indy Racers, batting first and playing left field, Billy Williams. Batting second, playing right field, Dusty Baker. Batting third, playing first base, Tony Perez. The cleanup hitter, playing center field, Larry Heisel. Batting fifth, playing second base, Tito Fuentes. Batting sixth, playing third base, Buddy Bell. Batting seventh, the catcher, Ellie Rodriguez. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Juan Beniquez. Batting ninth, the starting pitcher, Ken Holtzman. Ken, in 17 games, has a record of 11-3, a 2.46 ERA, a 1.03 whip, a strikeouts per nine of 4.1, and a walks per nine of 1.7. He's 27 years old. Versus Boston, he's 1-0 with a 0.66 ERA. Now the starting lineup for the homestanding Boston Corsairs. They lead the Northeast region. Batting first and playing third base, Mike Schmidt. Batting second, playing center field, Elliot Maddox. Batting third, playing second base, Wayne Garrett. The cleanup hitter, playing right field, Merv Redmond. Batting fifth, playing left field, Ed Kirkpatrick. Batting sixth, playing first base, Bob Robertson. Batting seventh, the shortstop, Mike Tyson. Batting eighth, the catcher, Carl Taylor. And batting ninth, the starting pitcher, Dave McNally. Dave, in 16 games, has a record of 9-4 with an ERA of 2.36, a 1.12 whip, and a strikeouts per nine of 2.9, a walks per nine of 2.6. He's 30 years old. Versus Indy, he's 2-0 with a 2.59 ERA. 17,000 fans in the stands, clear skies, 68 degrees, wind blowing left to right at 11 miles per hour. Boston is in first place in the Northeast region. Their home record is 25-13. Indy is in second place in the Northeast region. Their road record is 16-18. Play ball. Good evening, baseball fans. Welcome to Fenway Park. Tonight, the Corsairs go up against the Racers. The second-place Racers have a 48-31 record. Boston sports a record of 50-32, good enough for first place in the Eastern League North region. Boston has won 8 of 12 from Indy this season. Clear skies, Temperature is 68 degrees, wind blowing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. Dave McNally on the mound for the Corsairs. Here's the first pitch. That's hit up the middle, and that's a base hit. He hits the 1-0 pitch up the middle, and we're underway. Let's take a look at the defense for the Boston Corsairs. In left field, Ed Kirkpatrick. In center field, Elliot Maddox. And Merv Retman over in right. Mike Schmidt, the Gold Glover, at third base. Mike Tyson at short. Wayne Garrett at second base. And Bob Robertson at first. The battery, Carl Taylor behind the plate. And on the mound, left-hand pitcher Dave McNally. Dave has 4 pitches. He has a 40 rated fastball, slider, and changeup, and a 35 rated curveball. His personality is he doesn't stand out. He has great morale. His 11th year, he's 30 years old. The batter is Dusty Baker. He's hitting .267 on the year, 11 home runs, and 42 runs batted in. He's stolen 4 bases. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Man on first, nobody out. Ground ball, second baseman has it. He goes to second base for 1. The relay in time, 4-6-3 double play. 2 out now. Here's Tony Perez. He's hitting .268 on the year, 15 home runs, 44 runs batted in. Lefty versus righty. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that's the inning. The Racers get a hit, but nothing else. We go to the bottom of the first inning. There's no score. Let's look at the defense for the Indy Racers. In left field, Gold Glover Billy Williams. Larry Heisel in center field. And Dusty Baker over in right. Buddy Bell at third base. Juan Beniquez at short. And Tito Fuentes at second base. Tony Perez at first, the battery. Gold Glover Ellie Rodriguez behind the plate. And on the mound, left-hand pitcher Ken Holtzman. Ken has 3 pitches, a 55 rated changeup, a 50 rated curve ball, and a 45 rated fastball. His personality is on the pompous side. His class is selfish. He is great morale, 8-year player, 27 years old. Stepping to the plate, the leadoff hitter for Boston, Mike Schmidt. He's hitting .247, 9 home runs, 42 runs batted in. He's stolen 12 bases. Lefty versus righty. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Holtzman in 17 games has 13 quality starts. Second in wins in the East with 11. There's a ground ball to the shortstop. He scoops it up, takes his time, throws the first for the first out. Here's right-hand hitting Elliot Maddox, hitting .244 on the year, no homers, 26 runs batted in. Here's the pitch from Holtzman. And that misses, ball 4, and he'll take his base. Here's Wayne Garrett, left-hand hitter, lefty versus lefty. Elliot Maddox at first. 1 out. No score. Bottom of the first inning. We're here at Fenway Park. Boston versus Indy. A battle for first place in the Northeast region. Here's the pitch. He lays one down. The pitcher has it. He'll go to first in time for the out. Elliott Maddox advances to second base. That's the second out. The batter, Merv Retman. Merv is hitting .260, 11 home runs, 35 runs batted in. He's stolen 12 bases. Maddox in scoring position with 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Lefty versus righty. Here's the full count pitch. That's on the ground to the shortstop. He has it. He'll throw to first in time, and that ends the inning. Nothing but a walk for Boston. Through the first inning, there's no score. Here in the top of the second inning, for Indy, it'll be Larry Heisel, Tito Fuentes, and Buddy Bell due up. Left-hand pitcher Dave McNally on the mound, 9-4 on the season. He has 33 earned runs, 37 walks, 42 strikeouts on the year. Left-hand pitcher versus the right-hand hitting Larry Heisel. Here's the 1-0. That's on the ground to first. He'll take it himself for the first out. Here's Tito Fuentes hitting .271 on the year, 7 home runs, 38 runs batted in. Here's the 3-ball, 1-strike pitch. He checks his swing, and that is ball 4. 1 out base on balls to Tito Fuentes, the batter, right-hand hitting Buddy Bell. Bell is hitting .289 on the year, 1 home run, 36 runs batted in. Lefty versus righty. 1 out, no score. Man on first. Here's the full count payoff pitch. On the ground to third, he has it. He goes second for 1, and that's all he'll get. The lead runner is taken down 5-4, and that's the second out. Fielder's choice, Bell is at first. Here's Ellie Rodriguez stepping to the plate, the right-hand hitter. Bell at first, 2 out. Left-hand McNally now ready. Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's on the ground to the second baseman. He'll throw to first to retire the side. End of the Indy half of the second. A walk, a man left. There's still no score. Bottom of the second inning. For Boston, it'll be Kirkpatrick, Robertson, and Tyson due up. Here's left-hand hitting Ed Kirkpatrick, the left fielder. He's hitting .271 on the year, 4 homers, 50 runs batted in. He leads this lineup and probably the team. Lefty versus lefty. Here's the 0-2. That's on the ground to first. He'll take it himself for the unassisted putout. 1 away. Here's Bob Robertson. Robertson, the first baseman, is hitting .206. 1 homer, 9 runs batted in. Here's the full count pitch. That's on the ground in front of the plate. The catcher picks it up. He'll throw to first in time for the out. 2 away. Here's Mike Tyson. The shortstop's hitting .154. No homers, 1 run batted in. He's stolen 1 base, 52 at-bats for him. Lefty versus righty. Here's the 0-1. 2 out. That's on the ground to the mound. Pitcher has it. He'll throw to first in time. That retires the side. No runs, hits, or errors. No one left on. Through 2 innings, there's no score. Top of the third inning here at Fenway Park, home of the Boston Corsairs, who lead the Northeast region of the National Baseball League. For Indy, it'll be the 8, 9, and leadoff hitters. Juan Beniquez, Kenny Holtzman, this pitcher, and then Billy Williams, the leadoff man, due up. Lefty versus righty, top of the third. Beniquez will step in. Here's the first pitch. That's on the air, and it's by the shortstop into center field for a base hit. I thought the shortstop had a play, but it went by him into center. So the leadoff man is aboard. Tyson could not make the play for Boston. The batter is right-hand hitting Ken Holtzman, the pitcher. He's a left-hand pitcher, but a right-hand hitter. One man on, nobody out. Here's the pitch. He tries to bunt, and he missed it. Here's the 0-1. He bunts again, this time down the first base line. The first baseman will make the play, throwing to the second baseman, covering for the out. Juan Benitez will go to second base. Runner in scoring position with one out, and here's the left-hand hitting Billy Williams. Lefty versus lefty, facing Dave McNally of Boston. First pitch to him. On the ground to the second baseman. He'll go to first for the out, and the runner will advance to third. 2 out now. Juan Benitez at third base, the batter, Dusty Baker. He's 0 for 1 today. Here's the first pitch. It's on the ground, past the mound, the second baseman charging. He'll pick it up, and he'll have to eat it. Baker is safe at first. They'll give him a base hit, and it's an RBI single. That's his 43rd of the season. The score is now 1-0 Indy. Baker at first base. The batter, number 3 hitter Tony Perez. He's 0 for 1. Indy in front 1-0 here on the road in Fenway. Left-hand pitcher McNally versus the right-hand hitter Perez. 2-2 pitch. That's in the air, and that's a base hit to center. The runner is headed for third. There'll be a play, and he is out at third base. And it looks like Mike Schmidt was injured on that play. The trainer will examine his right hand, but Schmidt is able to shake it off. The side is retired. The Racers get a run. Indy has taken the lead 1-0. We go to the bottom of the third inning. For the Corsairs, it'll be Taylor, the pitcher McNally, and the leadoff man Mike Schmidt. Just noticed a snowflake by his name. He is cold of late. Carl Taylor, the number 8 hitter, the catcher, will step to the plate, hitting .255 on the season, 1 homer, 29 runs batted in. Lefty versus righty. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's on the ground to first. He'll throw to the pitcher covering first for the out. 1 away. Here's the pitcher Dave McNally stepping to the plate. He too is a right-handed hitter who throws from the left. He's facing Ken Holtzman. One away. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's hit to the third baseman in the air. He'll catch the line drive for the second out. Buddy Bell makes the fine play for Indy. Here's Mike Schmidt, right-hand hitter. The leadoff man is 0 for 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. The delivery. He gets that in the air, and that should be a base hit. The right fielder has it in right center field. And that's a 2-out base knock for Mike Schmidt. Good speed at first. The batter, right-hand hitting Elliot Maddox. He doesn't have an official at bat. Lefty versus righty. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's on the ground to the shortstop. They'll go to second base and get the force play for the final out. The Boston third is over. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, a runner left on. The score remains 1-0 Indy. We go to the top of the fourth inning through 3. Indy is 1 run, 4 hits, no errors. Boston, no runs, 1 hit, no errors. For Indy, it'll be Heisel, Fuentes, and Bell due up the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Left-hand pitcher Dave McNally has thrown 3 innings, 35 pitches. He has allowed 4 hits, 1 earned run. He's walked 1 and struck out 1. The batter is Larry Heisel. He's 0 for 1. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's on the ground to third. Sharply hit. He picks it up and throws across the diamond in time for the first out. Nice play by the Gold Glover Mike Schmidt at third for Boston. Here's Tito Fuentes stepping in. The second baseman is hitting .271 on the year. Doesn't have an official at bat in this game. Righty versus the left-hand pitcher Dave McNally. Here's the 2-2. That's in the air, and it'll be over the shortstop into left field for a base hit. 1 out single for Fuentes. Good speed at first. The batter, right-hand hitting Buddy Bell. 2 lefty pitchers, 2 righty hitting lefty pitchers. Interesting. Bell at the plate, lefty versus righty. He's 0 for 1. 1 out, man at first. That's in the air, and that's in the gap. That's going to go all the way to the wall. That's extra bases. The runner on third will stop there, and it's a double. 1 out double for Buddy Bell, and Indy is threatening with a one-run lead. Here's Ellie Rodriguez, hitting .315 on the year, 1 homer, 33 runs batted in. He's 0 for 1. Runners in scoring position and first base open with 1 out. Lefty versus righty. Here's the 1-0 pitch. He hits that in the air, and the shortstop will catch it on the fly. He'll throw to second base for the double play, 6-4, and that retires the side. Indy does not score, and they still lead 1-0. Let's take a look at the replay on that one. The replay, 2-star play. He hits it in the line. Shortstop has it, throws to the second baseman covering second base, and that's your inning. Good defense by Boston. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. For Boston, it'll be Garrett, Retman, and Kirkpatrick due up. They trail by a run. Lefty versus lefty, Wayne Garrett steps in. Doesn't have an at-bat yet. He's .204 on the year. 4 home runs, 30 runs batted in. These batting averages are not that great. Nobody's a .300 hitter. I'm wondering who's not in the regular lineup. This is game 2 of a 3-game set here in Boston. Lefty versus lefty. Here's the 2-2 pitch. That's on the ground to the second baseman. He's charging. He's on the infield grass, and then he boots it. They give him an error. That was a tough play. That's tough scoring as well. Garrett is safe at first. It wasn't hit very well. Fuentes tried to charge it and make a play, and they charge him with an error. The first for the game and for Indy. Here's right-hand hitting Merv Retman, hitting .259 on the year, 0 for 1 today. He leads the team, I think, with 11 home runs. Lefty versus righty. The 0-1. That's in the air to left field. He has a play. He'll make the catch for the first out. Garrett at first base. Here's the left-hand hitting Ed Kirkpatrick, the number 5 hitter. He's 0 for 1. Lefty versus lefty. Full count. That's hit sharply past the first baseman in the right field for a base hit. The runner will hit for third, and he's hit it for second base, and he'll get there. Scored a double. His 14th of the season for Kirkpatrick. Wayne Garrett is at third. 1 out, and the batter is Bob Robertson. He's 0 for 1. He's only hitting .203 on the year. 1 homer, 9 runs batted in. He's only had 69 at bats. I don't think he's the regular guy. Lefty versus righty. 1 out. Here's the full count pitch. That's on the ground. The shortstop has it. He goes to first, and he gets it, but that will tie the game. The run will score. Wayne Garrett scores. And the score tied at 1. Kirkpatrick at second base. The right-hand hitting Mike Tyson will step in. The shortstop is 0 for 1. He's hitting 151 on the season. Lefty versus righty. 2 out now. Score now tied here in the bottom of the 4th inning. We're at Fenway Park. Major Sim Baseball. Here's Mike Tyson versus Kenny Holtzman. The first pitch. That's on the ground to the second baseman. He has it. Throws the first in time. And that retires the side. 1 run. A runner left on. The Corsairs tie the game. It's 1-1. Top of the 5th inning. For Indy, it'll be Beniquez, the pitcher Holtzman, and the leadoff man Williams. 2 up. Here's right-hand hitting Juan Beniquez. He's 1 for 1 today. Facing the lefty McNally, he's thrown 50 pitches in 4 innings of work, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. The 1-0 pitch. That's on the ground to the shortstop. Weakly hit. He has it. He'll throw to first in time for the first out. Here's the pitcher, Ken Holtzman. Doesn't have an official at bat. Lefty versus right-hand hitting lefty pitcher. The 0-1 pitch. That's in the air. And that'll be a base hit. No, he'll catch it. He's on the outfield grass, the second baseman. And he'll catch the pop fly for the second out. Wayne Garrett makes the play for Boston. Here's the left-hand hitting Billy Williams, the leadoff man. He's 1 for 2 today, hitting .277 on the year. 18 home runs, 45 runs batted in. Lefty versus lefty. The 1-2 pitch. And that's strike 3 call. Fastball at 94. We're halfway done with this one. Clean inning for the Corsairs. Racers and Corsairs are still tied 1-1. Say that fast 3 times. Here's the right-hand hitting Carl Taylor. Leading it off here in the bottom of the 5th for Boston. The score tied 1-1. It'll be Taylor, McNally, the pitcher, and the leadoff man Schmidt due up. Taylor's 0 for 1. He's hitting .253 on the year. 1 homer, 29 runs batted in. Lefty versus the right-hand hitter. 1-1 pitch. That's in the air, and that's a base hit to center field. The leadoff man is on here in the bottom of the 5th inning for Boston. The pitcher, McNally, will step to the plate. He's 0 for 1. We expect the sacrifice here. The 1-1 pitch. He lays one down, third base side. The third baseman has it. He'll go to first in time. The sacrifice is successful. Taylor to second base. Carl Taylor at second base. Mike Schmidt will step to the plate. He's 1 for 2 today. Mike is hitting .249 on the season. 9 home runs, 42 runs batted in. 12 stolen bases for Mike. Lefty versus the right-hand hitter. The first pitch to him. And they intentionally put him on first base. 1 out. Men at first and second for Boston. The batter, right-hand hitting Elliot Maddox. He's 0 for 1. Elliott is hitting .243 with no home runs, 26 runs batted in. Lefty versus the right-hand hitter. 2-2 pitch. He is that in the air to left field, and he's there to make the catch. He gets the ball in quickly to the cutoff man, and that's the second out. Left-hand hitting Wayne Garrett will step to the plate. The number 3 hitter. Hitting .204 on the year, 4 home runs, 30 runs batted in, 0 for 1 today. Lefty versus lefty. Here's the full count pitch. That's on the ground to the second baseman. He'll throw to first in time, and that's the inning. Boston gets a hit and a walk, but nothing more. Racers and Corsairs are tied 1-1. Top of the 6th inning. Here's Dusty Baker leading it off for Indy. It'll be Baker, Perez, and Heisel, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up. Baker is 1 for 2 with an RBI in this game. Dave McNally, in his fifth inning of work, has thrown 58 pitches. He's struck out 2 and walked 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch to Dusty Baker. That's in the air. Left fielder is there. He'll make the catch for the first out. Here's right-hand hitting Tony Perez. 1 for 2 today. The 3-1 pitch. That misses for ball 4. The curveball. And a 1-out walk to Tony Perez. Here's Larry Heisel, the right-hand hitting. 0 for 2 today. The 0-1. That's on the ground to the shortstop. He'll go to second base and get the lead runner. Fielder's choice, and that's the first out. Garrett seems to be in pain. The trainer examines his right elbow, but he's able to shake it off. That's the second baseman for Boston. He remains in the game. Boston has good defense. Smith is rated at 70. Garrett is rated at 70. The third baseman and second baseman, respectively. The first baseman is 65. And the weak link is the 55 shortstop, Mike Tyson. They got a good outfield, too. They may be built for the long haul. Let's see. Here's Fuentes for Indy. They're 1 for 1. Indy is the defending Eastern League pennant winners. They faced off against the Seattle Cascades, and they lost the World Sim in 6 games. Here's the pitch from Dave McNally. The 2-2 is in the air, and the center fielder has it for the third out. Indy gets a walk, but nothing else. The score remains 1-1. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. For Boston, it'll be Merv Retman, Ed Kirkpatrick, and Bob Robertson due up. Here's Merv Retman. He's 0 for 2. Hitting .259 on the year, 11 home runs, 35 runs batted in, 12 stolen bases for Merv. Lefty versus righty. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Bottom of the 6th inning, score tied 1-1. That's on the ground, past the mound. The shortstop has it, and he'll have to eat it. Scored a single. The leadoff man is on. Merv Retman on first base for the Boston Corsairs. We're here at Fenway Park, home of the Boston Corsairs of the National Baseball League, the Northeast region, facing their rival, the Indy Racers. Left-hand pitcher Ken Holtzman on the mound, facing the left-hand hitter Ed Kirkpatrick. Ed is 1 for 2 today. Man on first, nobody out. Bottom of the 6th. And that is the runner trying to steal, and he'll get there. Stolen base for Merv Retman. Runner in scoring position. Nobody out. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Kirkpatrick. That's in the air. It's deep. It's carrying. And it will leave the yard. Home run for Ed Kirkpatrick gives Boston a 3-1 lead. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape of that one. 406 feet, 101 miles an hour off the bat to left center field. A curveball, 66 miles an hour from Kenny Holtzman. Ed Kirkpatrick touches them all. Good old number 9. Here's the batter, Bob Robertson. Boston now leads by 2, bottom of the 6th inning. Kenny Holtzman on the mound. Here's the 1-ball, no-strike pitch. It's on the ground to third. He has it. Throws across the diamond in time for the out. One away. Here's Mike Tyson. He's 0 for 2. The 0-2 pitch. That's in the air to left field. He runs toward the track, and he'll make the catch for the second out. Billy Williams, the Gold Glover in left, makes the play for Indy. Here's the right-hand hitting Carl Taylor, the number 8 hitter for Boston. He's 1 for 2. Lefty versus righty. Here's the pitch. That's in the air to left field. Williams is running toward center. He'll make the play for the last out. 2 runs for Boston on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on. The score now 3-1, Corsairs in front. Top of the 7th inning. For the Racers, it'll be Bell, Rodriguez, and Beniquez due up. Dave McNally, 6 innings of work, has thrown 73 pitches. He's walked 2 and struck out 2. 1 earned run, 6 hits allowed. Here's the right-hand hitting Buddy Bell, 1 for 2. Here's the full count pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Fastball at 90 miles an hour. That's the first out. Here's the number 7 hitter, Ellie Rodriguez. He's hitting .313 on the year. 0 for 2 today. Lefty versus righty. Here's the 1-1. That's on the ground to first. He'll take it himself for the second out. Bob Robertson for Boston makes the play first. Here's the right-hand hitting Juan Beniquez. He's 1 for 2. Lefty versus righty. The 0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and that's the inning. 4th strikeout for Dave McNally. The Racers go down in order. Corsairs lead the Racers 3-1. The fans at Fenways now rise for the 7th inning stretch. Bottom of the 7th inning, the Corsairs come to the plate leading by 2. The leadoff hitter will be the pitcher, Dave McNally. He's 0 for 1. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. That's on the ground to second, and he boots it. And that's an error on the second baseman, his second of the game. Tito Fuente. The first one I wouldn't say is earned. That one is a play he should make. Here's McNally now at first base, and Mike Schmidt stepping to the plate for Boston. Schmidt is 1 for 2. The left-hand pitching Holtzman has thrown 119 pitches in 6 innings of work. He's walked 2 and struck out no one. Lefty versus righty. Here's the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch to Mike Schmidt. He checks his swing, and it's strike 3 called. That's the first out. Curveball at 65 miles an hour froze him. Here's Elliot Maddox. He's 0 for 2. Man at first, 1 out. Boston leads by 2. Here's the pitch. That's up the middle, base hit. The runner is headed for third. There's a play. He's safe. Nice base running by the pitcher, Dave McNally, to get to third base on that one. So there's runners on the corners with 1 out, and there'll be a pitching change for the Racers. They're sending right-hand pitcher Dick Woodson to the mound. Woodson has no record. He has pitched 24 innings, allowed 16 hits, 6 earned runs. He's walked 9 and struck out 9. He has 3 pitches. His best pitch is a 50-rated changeup and 45-rated fastball and slider. Dick never shows any lack of effort. He is high on work ethic. He has a good disposition, 3rd-year player, 28 years old. Wayne Garrett at the plate, left-hand hitter facing the right-hand pitcher. Bottom of the 7th inning, 1 out. Boston have runners at the corners with a 2-run lead. 1 ball, 2 strike delivery. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Changeup at 78. And that's the second out. Big pitch for Dick Woodson of Indy. Here's the batter, right-hand hitting Merv Redmond. He's 1 for 3 today. Runners on the corners, 2 out. Boston trying to extend their lead. Here's the full count pitch. And that will miss, ball 4, and that will load the bases with 2 out. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning here at Fenway Park. Boston hosting Indy. The score 3-1. The batter, left-hand hitting Ed Kirkpatrick. He's 2 for 3 with a home run and 2 runs batted in. Righty versus lefty. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's a base hit to center field. One man is in. Another man is hit at home. There'll be a play at the plate, and he's safe. 2-run hit. And Boston now leads 5-1. Let's take a look at that play. Ed Kirkpatrick with a single. And he's at 4 RBIs in this game now. So Kirkpatrick is at first. Rutman is at second. The batter, right-hand hitting Bob Robertson with 2 out. Boston now leads by 4. Righty versus righty. Here's the pitch from Woodson. And that is ball 4. The bases again are loaded with 2 out. Indy pitching not effective tonight. Right-hand hitting Mike Tyson will step to the plate. He's 0 for 3. Here's the first pitch. That's in the air to left field. Williams racing in. He'll make the play. And that retires the side. The Corsairs get 2 more runs. And they now lead Indy 5-1. Top of the 8th inning. Here's the left-hand hitting Matty Alou for the pitcher. Pinch hitting. On the year, he's hitting .276. No homers, 6 runs batted in. Lefty versus lefty. He's .250 as a pinch hitter. That's on the ground to the second baseman. Weakly hit. He'll throw to first in time, and that's the first out. Here's the leadoff man, Billy Williams. He's 1 for 3. Lefty versus lefty. The first pitch. That's in the air, and that is the right fielder making a play and making the catch for the second out. Merv Redmond in right for Boston makes a catch in short right field. Here's the number 2 hitter, Dusty Baker. He's 1 for 3 with a run batted in. Lefty versus righty, the 1-2 pitch. That's in the air, a line drive to third base. He makes the catch, side retired. 1-2-3 go the Racers. The score still remains 5-1 Boston. Bottom of the 8th inning. For the Corsairs, it'll be Taylor, the pitcher McNally, and the leadoff man Mike Schmidt due up. New pitcher for Indy. It'll be the right-hand pitcher Pedro Bourbon. The closer coming in a non-save situation. Let's take a look at his record first here. He's 6-2 on the year. He's allowed 11 earned runs, 19 walks, 25 strikeouts. His earned run average is 1.54. Pedro has 2 pitches, both 40 rated, a fastball and a cutter. His personality is a prickly disposition, takes his role very seriously. Great morale, a 4th-year player. He's 26 years old. Here's the batter, right-hand hitting Carl Taylor, the number 8 hitter for Boston, the catcher. He's 1 for 3. Here's the full count pitch. And that ball misses, ball 4, and the leadoff man is on for a base on ball. Good speed at first, and the pitcher will step to the plate, Dave McNally. He'll bat for himself here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Boston leads by 4. The 0-2. He attempts to bunt, and he bunts it foul. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and he swings away and hits a base hit to center field. The runner on second will stop there, and that's a base hit for the pitcher. Here's the batter, Mike Schmidt, the leadoff man. He's 1 for 3, 2 men on, nobody out. Bottom of the 8th inning, Boston already leads by 4. Pedro Bourbon on the hill for Indy. Righty versus righty, the 2-2 pitch. That's a swing and a miss on a fastball, and that's the first out. Here's right-hand hitting Elliott Maddox. He's 1 for 3. Taylor at second, McNally at first. 1 out. Here's the 0-2. That's on the ground to short. Hit sharply. He goes to second, and he'll get the force play at second. Carl Taylor advances to third base. So with 2 out, there's runners on the corners. And the left-hand hitting Wayne Garrett will step in. He's 0 for 3. Righty versus lefty. 3-1. That's on the ground. Second baseman has it. He'll throw to first, and that's the inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. 2 runners are left on. The Corsairs still lead by 4, 5-1. Top of the 9th inning. Indy needs 4 runs to tie this game. They'll send up the heart of the order, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, Perez, Heisel, and Fuentes. Left-hand pitcher Dave McNally, in 8 innings of work, has only thrown 91 pitches. He's looking to close this one out. Here's the right-hand hitting Tony Perez. Here's the full count payoff pitch. That's hit in the air, and it's hit deep. The runner is going there. Well, that will leave the yard. A solo shot by Tony Perez. And it's now 5-2. That was a no-doubter. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. 403 feet to right field, 100 miles an hour off the bat. 89-mile-an-hour fastball from Dave McNally is sent out of the yard by Tony Perez. He touches them all. Good old number 24. Now the batter is right-hand hitting Larry Heisel. He's 0 for 3. McNally still in there. Here's the 0-1. That's in the air to center field. He's racing back, and it's over his head, and he'll hit the wall. That's extra bases. He hits second in full gait, but he'll stop as the throw is back in. That's a double for Heisel. And there's nobody out. And Fuentes will step to the plate. The tying run is on deck. McNally is in there. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch to Heisel. That ball is up the middle, base hit. He rounds third, and he'll stop. 3 straight hits here in the top of the 9th inning. And they have runners on the corners now. And here's the hitter, right-hand hitter, Buddy Bell. He's 1 for 3. Heisel at third, Fuentes at first, and McNally is still in there. Lefty versus righty. Here's the 0-2. He swings and misses. Strike 3, curveball at 73. And that's the first out. Here's right-hand hitting Ellie Rodriguez, the number 7 hitter. He's 0 for 3. Hitting .312 on the year. Heisel at third, Fuentes at first. 1 out. Lefty versus righty. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Change up at 77. And that's the second out. McNally trying to close this out. He's pitched 8 2/3 innings. The batter, Right-hand hitter Juan Beniquez, the number 8 hitter, 1 for 3. The tying run at the plate. Here's the pitch from McNally. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's on the ground. It's hit to the mound. The pitcher has it. He'll throw to first, and that's your ball game. The Boston Corsairs has won at home 5-2 your final. Indy brought the tying run to the plate here in the top of the 9th inning, but they could not get it done. Boston increases their lead in the Northeast region. Let's take a look at the totals for today's game. First with the victorious Boston Corsairs, who win their 51st game of the season. They scored 5 runs on 8 hits, no errors. For Indy, 2 runs, 9 hits, and 2 errors. Boston left 10 men on base, and Indy left 6 men on base. The winning pitcher, Dave McNally, he went the distance, 9 innings pitched, 9 hits allowed, 2 runs, both earned. He walked 2 and struck out 6. He allowed 1 homer. He threw 116 pitches. His ERA is 2.33. He's now 10-4. The losing pitcher is Kenny Holtzman. He's 11-4 now, 6 in the 3rd innings pitched, 6 hits allowed, 5 runs allowed, 2 earned. He walked 2, struck out 1. He gave up a home run. He threw 124 pitches. His ERA is 2.54. Dave McNally. Player of the game is Ed Kirkpatrick, left fielder for the Boston Corsairs. Kirkpatrick stars for Corsairs in a 5-2 win, behind the hitting of Ed Kirkpatrick. The Boston Corsairs stopped the Indy Racers 5-2. Kirkpatrick was 3 for 4 with a home run and a double, while adding 4 RBI and scoring runs for the Corsairs. Dave McNally, the winning pitcher, improved to 10-4. He pitched 9 innings, giving up 9 hits and 2 runs, while striking out 6 and walking 2. By defeating Indy, the first-place Corsairs improved to 51-32. Kirkpatrick had a game-changing home run in the bottom of the 6th on a 2-2 curveball from Ken Holtzman. He banged a 2-run home run to left center, giving the Corsairs a 3-1 lead. It was the 5th home run of the year for Kirkpatrick. "I loved our energy," said Boston manager Eddie Casco. "I loved the way we played." Okay. Let's finish the Eastern League slate. New York hosts Miami. For New York, Jeff Zahn, 1-6, 4.93 ERA. Faces for Miami, Gaylord Perry, 6-6, 3.93 ERA. Miami is 9-21 on the road. New York is 19-25 at home. The result of this game: Miami defeated by New York 4-0, a home win for the Titans. Jeff Zahn is the winning pitcher. He's now 2-6, and he's the player of the game. New York Titan Roy White hits his 8th home run of the year. Philadelphia Freedom hosts the Chicago Blue Sox. Philadelphia 40-39, 17-13 at home. They send Ken Brett to the hill, 5-7 with a 4.44 ERA. And Chicago 36-45 with a road record of 15-32. Send Ken Brett to the hill. Dave Roberts to the hill. He's 7-3 with a 1.73 ERA. The result of this game: Brett schools Chicago in a 9-0 Philadelphia triumph. Ken Brett gets the win. He's 6-7. He's the player of the game. Chicago shut out 9-0. Philadelphia Joe Rudy hits his 5th home run of the year. Atlanta 34-47, 19-23 at home, hosts the Charlotte Monarchs 42-39 with a 17-20 road record. Atlanta sends Blue Moon Odom 5-7 with a 3.64 ERA. Charlotte will send Glenn Abbott. He doesn't have a record. Here's the result of this game. Flames lambast Monarchs 12-2. Atlanta with a home victory, their 35th of the year. Blue Moon Odom gets the victory. He's now 6-7 with a 3.52 ERA. Player of the game is left fielder Cleon Jones for the Flames. And finally, in the Eastern League, the Nashville Sound 30-50, a home record of 14-23, hosts the Baltimore Admirals with a record of 56-25, a road record of 27-17. Nashville will send Al Santorini 4-3 with a 3.53 ERA to the mound versus Pat Dobson for Baltimore, 7-3 with a 2.92 ERA. Boston leads in each category offensively: first in runs, first in average, first in home runs. They're first in ERA defensively, third in defensive efficiency, and 11th in strikeouts. Here's the result of this game. Admirals up in Sound on the road 5-2 for their 57th win of the year. Pat Dobson gets the victory, his 8th. He's also the player of the game. For Baltimore, Norm Cash hits his 13th home run of the year. For Nashville, Ted Simmons hits his 6th. I didn't say who hit home runs in the Atlanta-Charlotte game. For Charlotte, Duke Sims, the catcher, hit his 10th of the year. And for Atlanta, Aurelio Rodriguez hit his 3rd. And Mike Epstein hit his 5th. Let's take a look at the Eastern League standings. Boston leads Indy now by a game and a half. Indy now on a 3-game losing streak. Boston coming around, winning their 2nd in a row. Baltimore is still dominant, now leading Charlotte by 15. We'll be back to finish the Western League contest featuring Salt Lake City at Denver. This is the Baseball Observer.